The book of Jeremiah, chapter 28, verse 7. Nevertheless, hear thou now this word that I speak in thy ears and in the ears of all the people. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Hashah, Bahara Kakadash. Give honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone. Shalom to the hopeful elect that seeking to be the elect of the nation of Israel. They're scattered abroad amongst the heathen. Some look like the heathen. Beginning with the 144,000. Preacher, teacher, prophet, Shalom. Yo, man, got some headlines right here, man, and some heat. And as we read in Jeremiah 28, that Yahweh Shema Shai has sent, just as old time as it is today, has always sent forth and serves the prophets to let you know what's going to happen before these things happen. Okay? And everything that's going on now, you can't say you weren't told in current time. All right? Because a lot of understanding, a lot of the scriptures and the understanding that the true men of Yahweh Shema Shai bring out, you've never heard before. If you didn't get the understanding before it happened, then it happens, you got to say, hold on, that Bible is real. Hold on, the Lord does have his men back. All right? I pray I'm one of them. All right? And, hey, you've been forewarned. And we got some serious headlines, and events that's going on. Remember, the evil tidings, the bad news. But the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel that's seeking to be the elect are comforted hearing these evil tidings, meaning evil news. It's good for the elect of Israel, but it's bad for Babylon. It's bad for the world. It's bad for 2/3 of Israel that want to cleave unto Babylon, which is America. All right? Now, you got right here real quick. It says backyard flock in Franklin County tests positive for HPA. And yeah, it's that season again. It's about that time. You got measles jumping through the roof. This super flu, this super bug. All right, all this going on, right? Anyway, you got contaminated meat. You got the screw worm concerning the cattle. In Mexico, it's close to Texas. Just everything, man. Just everything. All right. It says backyard flock in Franklin County tests positive for HPA. January the 6th, 2026. The North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services, NCDA and CS, announced Tuesday that a backyard flock in Franklin County has tested positive for a high-path avian influenza. The positive sample was identified by the NCDA and CS Veterinary Diagnostic Lab in Raleigh, North Carolina. This is the first confirmed positive in Franklin County and the ninth confirmed positive in North Carolina since October the 1st. A list of domestic birds cases of HPAI in North Carolina is online at right here. And you see it's concerning backyard flocks. All right? Backyard flocks. HPA has been found in wild birds throughout the state, so reports of positive backyard flocks will likely happen on occasion, said Dr. Mike Martin, state veterinarian. I encourage our commercial and backyard flock owners to continue to follow strict biosecurity measures, and if your flock is experiencing a sudden higher than normal mortality rate, death, report it right away to your local veterinarian or to the NCDA and CS Veterinary Division at, you see the number. It says this type of HPAI virus is considered a low risk to people according to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control, but is highly contagious to other birds, including commercial and backyard flocks of poultry. This V is also not considered a food safety threat, and infected birds do not enter the food supply. Okay. But this is the narrative that they're pushing, all right? This is what they're pushing to get people that scared, to get people to cull their chickens, backyard flocks, to cull the chickens that's at these commercial plants. All right, to do what? To lower the food supply. All right, to restrict food supply and to raise prices. All right. Oh, I'm trying to get out of this. It says right here. Where are we? Yeah, hey, we see it's a lot of uproar going on, and as we reported last night by what the Holy Spirit had, they were saying that hey, the first 24 hours is going to determine how these things are going to play out. All right. Now, it's not a coincidence that you have several states that all of a sudden had people with poster boards. People all of a sudden came out of nowhere, flooded cities, were protesting, man. Got the chants and the cadences down already. We thought that was a coincidence. No, it was set up. All right? It's like that woman getting shot, and ICE was the one to shoot the woman, which the woman appears to be a white woman. But the fact that they used ICE, or ICE was the one to do it, what are they telling you? That they're going after anybody who was against their orders, who was against their authority. Well, of course, us so-called Negroes, Native American Indians, Hispanics, Latinos, Jamaicans, and Haitians are the targets. But they're letting you know that, hey, they're going to use ICE, National Guard, whoever, to do whatever they got to do. And if anybody go against their authority, regardless if it's set up or not, they're gonna put you down. All right? They're trying to say the woman tried to hit them, you know, and things of that nature. When you look at the footage from the other angle of the officer who was in front of the car, like I said last night, that's what they do. That's what they do. They'll step in front of the vehicle. So if you move forward, even if you don't hit them, they feel obligated to shoot. All right? Now they just ran up to the woman, masked up, guns drawn, yanking on her door, cussing her, telling her to get the F out the car. She was terrified. All right? Now when you look at it from the different angles, man, from the two angles that they have, it doesn't look like anyone was in the car. All right? Just to point that out. It says video appears to show hysterical, blood-covered wife of Renee Nicole Good, woman killed by ICE, crying out, "It's my fault." So she was she one of them freaks. Y'all know what I'm talking about, the alphabet gang. All right. And you got, where is it? Where is it? I think it's in Smart News. Let's check out this Smart News. I think the other article is in Smart News. Hold on, y'all. I'm sorry. It's taking its time. Let me see. I had that on last night. Let me see. Yeah, right here. The phone stopped, y'all. Let's see if yeah, it says, who is it? Minnesota protesters vent their outrage after an ICE officer kills a woman. And you see, again, this is causing nothing but uproar and chaos. All right? And it's all planned out. All right? It's all planned out. She appeared to be an Edomite woman, too, a so-called white woman. Shoot, man, these people out there protesting left and right. All right? Out the blue. Just popped up out the woodwork. In like 4 or 5 different states. Hey, I think in Minnesota, they get into ICE. All right? It says 4 hours ago, the Hill Trump leans into ICE defense as Minneapolis shooting sparks uproar. So these people like, they upset. They in their feelings. All right, they're like, nah. You got the governor of Minnesota. Hey, and people saying that, hey, they don't want where is it? Them troops out. Where is it? I got it saved. Let me see. Let me see. Protests on the way. I want the one where they were Trump makes media. It's like, yo, they don't want them up in there. This might be it.
A massive memorial in Minneapolis tonight. Family, friends, and community members are getting together in South Minneapolis to remember Renee Nicole Good, who was fatally shot by an ICE agent during a federal immigration operation. That operation ending with two very different versions of what led up to that shooting. ICE calls it self-defense. The mayor calls it reckless abuse of power. Good evening, everybody. I'm Roop Raj. We begin tonight with video from the scene and a warning for you. It is graphic.
Remember, no one, including these mayors, the citizens, no one wanted the National Guard or ICE out, period. Remember that. All right? From D.C., from Chicago, to Memphis, to L.A. Remember, these mayors, these governors, these citizens, they don't want the majority of the people, the citizens, do not want the National Guard out, nor do they want ICE out, dealing with the citizens, man. Remember that.
No! 37-year-old Renee Nicole Good was shot in front of a family member in a snowy residential neighborhood south of the downtown there. Homeland Security officials say she tried to run over the Ram ICE officers with her vehicle, calling it an act of domestic terrorism. But witnesses say that's not what they saw. Here's how some of them describe what happened.
I watched as a third person in full camo come and pull several times on the door handle, at which point the red vehicle reversed a few feet and started driving around, and the person who was by the driver's side originally, not the man who pulled on the door, but who was originally there, shot through the driver's side window 3 times.
And there was a maroon Honda kind of sideways in the road, and people were shouting move your car, you're obstructing the road. And the car began to back up and then pull forward at maybe 2 miles an hour, and then someone started to shout no, and then a moment later 4 or 5 shots were fired into the vehicle. And at that point, I believe the person's foot hit the gas pedal pretty hard, and then it crashed into the nearest car on the opposite side of the street.
I saw the car parked in the road, and then a bunch of ICE agents walking up, screaming at her to move. And then when she backed up and then started to turn away to move and to get out of their way, then one of the guys jumped in front of the car. Another guy tried to rip the door open, and then someone yelled stop, and then I heard gunshots.
Well, as you know, the shooting has sparked intense outrage. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey not holding back. In a profanity-laced press conference, he called the shooting reckless and demanded that ICE leave town.
They are already trying to spin this as an action of self-defense. Having seen the video of myself, I want to tell everybody directly, that is bull. There's little I can say, again, that'll make this situation better, but I do have a message for our community, for our city, and I have a message for ICE. To ICE, get the out of Minneapolis.
And Minnesota Governor Tim Walz echoing the sentiment of the Minneapolis mayor, saying today recklessness costs someone their life.
Minnesotans, I say this, I feel your anger. I'm angry. We do not need any further help from the federal government. To Donald Trump and Kristi Noem, you've done enough.
Wallace says he reached out to Secretary of Homeland Security of Kristi Noem and is now waiting to hear back. More than 2,000 officers have been deployed in the Twin Cities from ICE as part of the Trump administration's immigration crackdown. This case is sparking outrage across the country. A crowd tonight pouring into downtown Detroit to protest. Let's get live to Fox News' Lauren Edwards. She's there now where all of these protests happen. She spoke to the organizers, and Lauren, I'm sure they had a lot to say.
Oh, absolutely, Roop. You know, before any of this happened, I just took a quick look at the map. Just wanted to see how far Minneapolis is away from here. And it's about 10 hours and 27 minutes. And even though the tragedy happened over there, it was definitely felt here. Many saying that it's the reason why they gathered and protested in the area behind us. Take a quick listen to just some of the chanting.
No ban, no wall, sanctuary for all.
No ban, no wall, sanctuary for all.
Now, as you're looking at right now, dozens of Detroiters in front of the ICE building on Michigan Avenue in the downtown area, protesting that fatal shooting of Renee Good up in Minneapolis. And as Minnesotans took to the streets, so did Detroiters marching and chanting through the downtown area as well. And the protest was organized by Comité de Acción Comunitaria, which is also known as Detroit Community Action Committee. And we spoke with the lead organizer. Her name is Cassandra Rodriguez, and she says the shooting was an absolute abuse of power.
I hate that this is happening, and I think I can speak for a lot of us when I say I'm angry. This shouldn't be happening, and I think a lot of us have been out in the streets protesting stuff like this before, and it's not surprising to us, but it's always devastating. We will continue to fight for better change, for accountability in our cities. I think this is something that should never be happening and is completely unacceptable, and I think it's up to our local governments to really take a hard stance against something like this and not allow ICE to just do whatever they want in our neighborhoods.
There you have it. I'll leave it there. So you see, all right, these people fed up, and you see how fast these organizers got everything situated, right? So you see, that's the time we in, man. All right, the end of Esau's empire. He just throwing stuff together. He was bringing everything together at one time, going to the time of the pale horse. Matter of fact, let's get there real quick, because when you read that verse, they're telling you that it's a man controlling it, and that man is Esau Edom. Okay? So-called white man, beginning with the elites. All right? Edomites. Revelation 6 and 9. 6 and 8. And I looked, let's start at 4. And when 7. Revelation 6 and 7. And when he had opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth beast say, "Come and see." And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him. You see, it was a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him, and power was given unto them.
Pay attention if you want free.
Over the fourth part of the earth, America, to kill with the sword, and with the hunger, and with death, which is pestilence, and with the beasts of the earth. You see, so these things are controlled, right? Yahweh Shem Shai has given Esau the power to deceive, to beguile, to plan, to orchestrate, to organize these things, man, to get reactions, to justify these executive orders that they already got signed, to justify these officers, ICE and National Guard, to do what they do, to patrol streets, to shoot people down like stray dogs. You see? So all these things are being set up. Now, in the midst of all these things going on, Trump is being hated by Babylonians, right? MAGA supporters, Edomites, just people in general. Hey, you see what they're doing with the Venezuela, down in Venezuela? They're trying to take Greenland. They're coming up against the allies in Denmark and NATO. That's who's a part of NATO. All right? and EU. Denmark's part of NATO and the EU. And the beast is hating the whore. And they're talking about going to war. And you got, man, it's just so much going on, man. Trump is being hated. All right, and you got this right here. Real quick. It says rulers 18 hours ago, Trump withdraws United States from dozens of international and United Nations entities. So what we're starting to see is America sit on their own, all right, by themselves. And you have right here, altitude post 17 hours ago, quote, we need to attack with torpedoes, sink a couple of American boats, end quote. Russian lawmaker calls for military response after U.S. seizes oil tanker. Yeah, and it was too. All right. So you see, Russian lawmaker calls for military response after U.S. seizes oil tanker. So you see, all this hatred is building up, anger is building up to come up against America. Remember, America is to the point now where it's just sitting on its own. No one wants a part of it, wants to deal with America. Their own allies don't want to deal with them. All America has is Israel, and all Israel has is America. All right? That's it. That's why these are the two places that's going to get destroyed. But you know the land of Israel is going to be rebuilt up by you heathen when we got y'all in slavery. All right? But America is just going to be a desolate wilderness forever. Okay, a land for desert creatures, and no man is ever going to come here and dwell here again. All right, going to Isaiah 13, 14, and 34. And you got right here, check this out. Remember, everything is leading to what? Doing away with America, man. America standing on its own because of its pride. It says, Politico 7 hours ago, U.S. could run Venezuela for years, Trump says. You see? Trump talking about they're going to sell the Venezuelan oil, and the money they make, they're going to spread it out amongst the Venezuelan people so they could be happy. No, you're not. Cut it out, man. You're going to take that money and pocket it. Think about this. If you claim to got so much money from terrorists, and you trying to do so much with terrorists, but you trying to you putting so much money into the defense of America. You talking about giving out dividend checks to citizens, and you ain't doing none of that. The only thing you're gonna do is build that damn Golden Dome, pocket that money, and put more money towards the defense of America. That's all you doing. You ain't giving out no money to American citizens to help them out, who are in need, by the way. But you are giving money to Israel and Ukraine, most definitely Israel. And you think you can take Venezuelan oil, sell their oil, make a profit, and distribute it amongst the Venezuelan people the way you feel it should be? No, nigga, cut it out. No, you're not. All right? These Edomites, these American Edomites who always want to be the head, the leaders in control, want the people eating out of his hands. All right? They want people to bow the knee. All right? They come to them for aid and help, man. All right? And they're painting it, and they're trying to paint the picture as if they're the great white hope. That's what they're doing. All right? So, again, it says U.S. could run Venezuela for years, Trump says. You see that? So they not looking to just be there for a short term. Nothing is ever short term with these devils, man. When they make plans, these plans are long term forever, man. All right. Hey, you got right here. Where is it? Where is it? I think it's. Cause you talking about canceling midterms. I got the video of him saying, "Hey, if they don't win midterms, he could be impeached." Yeah, that's what I want. Duwali Haba Shimon Shah. The Daily Beast, or Daily Beast, 13 hours ago, why Trump isn't joking about canceling midterms. Congresswoman, right? You. Congresswoman says, right? Check this out. Here it is.
You got to win the midterms, because if we don't win the midterms, it's just going to be, I mean, they'll find a reason to impeach me. I'll get impeached. We don't impeach them, you know why? Because they're meaner than we are. We should have impeached Joe Biden for 100 different things. They are mean and smart.
You see that? He looked sick, man. He looked bad. You see? He said they got to win because if they don't, they would impeach him. All right? And remember, he wasn't to go out on top. That's why all these pictures you ever see Trump in, look, head, hand held high. How he talk, he's trying to talk like he's the Don. You see? And things of that nature. It says the success of President Donald Trump's shocking raid in Venezuela will likely embolden him to disrupt the midterm election on his home turf this year, a Democratic Congresswoman warned. And it makes sense for him to do something to disrupt this midterm election, man. So he won't be impeached. Remember, everyone is against him. No one is on his side, man. As we brought up in Proverbs 14 the other day. No one's on his side anymore, except his loyalists, those who he set up, right? That's a part of this 2025 agenda, man. All right? That's it. Outside of that, the citizens, the allies of America, the neighboring countries, ain't nobody dealing with America. You see? You trying to run the sea, you know? You mess with Russia. And as we read, Russia was like, nah, we need to hit them with some damn torpedoes. All right? Take them out. You see that? So you thinking you the big bully on the block, hey, that's about to get put to an end, man. All right? It's about to get put to an end, man. All right? It's really about to get put to an end. All right? And it says, and look, with all these things playing out, you know, hey, I could see them disrupting these midterms because of what total chaos. Hey, the Insurrection Act, at least the martial law, which going to an authoritarian government, which will restrict rights and cancel everything. All right, and them being in power until you how shall come. All right. Because remember, hey, people are still out of work. People still have no jobs. I mean, the talking point is the same, man. Nothing is changing. It's not getting better. It's only downhill, right? There's no light in sight, no comfort in sight for those who want to Cleveland to America, man. So, hey, that second is 15, and 15 on down to 19. Hey, for this to really hit America, Trump is going to be justified. Remember, the troops are already out. They're sending out 23,500. The troops are already out. Trump is already on the side of these people, of the agent that shot the women yesterday. All right, so he's letting you know. Remember, he said he wanted to take the handcuffs off the officers, man. And he wanted to get rid of the due process. What's that? The corpus, I forgot the name, but my fault. It was something. The corpus, I forget, I'm sorry. But it takes away the due process. All right? Which just for all people. But it's mainly targeted for our people. But it is for all people. If you go to this new world order, it ain't going to be no due process, man. Either you're going to bow the knee and serve Esau, or you're not, and you're going to get put to death and or exile. All right? That's it, that's all. That's Revelation 13:15. All right? But hey, they going to do something. I believe they going to do something to disrupt the midterms. Okay? Which is November, I think, the 3rd. And 2026. And they could do something to disrupt it before then. But you see, all this chaos is being used, and Trump is going to be justified in disrupting the midterms. All right? It says, yeah, we ain't got to read. You know what it is. They just finished reading it. Then we'll close out once it comes up. Again, it says, while Trump isn't joking, about canceling midterms, Congresswoman, and we read that first sentence. It says Massachusetts Representative Seth Moulton told the Daily Beast podcast that Trump's earlier remarks about messing with the midterms are absolutely a possibility.
Factor meals deliver pro-level nutrition
It's my first time watching the video.
with chef-crafted flavors that make it easy to feed your performance. Factor. Eat like a pro.
Donald Trump yesterday talking to a lot of his Congress sort of alluded to or made a joke that the midterms might even get cancelled, the midterms might not even go ahead. Do you think that this is genuinely a possibility?
Oh, absolutely a possibility. I mean, I would go further and say most likely scenario that he tries to disrupt the midterms, cancel them, delay them, whatever else. I mean, this is a guy who just took Maduro out of Venezuela. I think we should take this deadly seriously. And if there's one lesson I've learned from Donald Trump over 2 terms, is that when he says he's going to do something bad, he almost always does something worse.
I'm Joanna Coles. This is the Daily Beast podcast, and I can barely...
And you can, and if you want to watch this, just go to YouTube, type in why Trump wasn't joking about canceling midterms, and it should come up. I'm going to watch it later on. 56 minutes long, and I'm sure it's heat. But yeah, I just wanted to hit this real quick through the speed and probably how about Shema Shah. It's getting worse, man, so hey, stay on your P's and Q's, continue to watch as well as pray, read and study, show yourselves approved, move with wisdom, and keep pumping. As a matter of fact, hold on, I got another alert on my phone. Check this out real quick. It should transfer over. That's a video.
Y'all see this, right?
Hold on. Let's real quick. Let's see if we can. It's a bug. I knew it took too long. Real quick. Check this out. This is a day ago. Let's see. Notification. Yeah. Yo, this shit don't come on, man. But it says,
Your name is Toby.
it's, here it is. The one that how about Shema Shah. U.S. and Russian naval war begins.
Your
And there's a massive oil tanker out here, running from the U.S. and being escorted by the Russian Navy. But here's the weird part. There's no oil on board. So what's going on? Let's rewind. This story starts with a tanker once called Bella 1. On paper, it was flagged in Guyana. In reality, it was part of a shadowy system moving sanctioned Iranian oil around the world. Then, in early January 2026, the ship basically changed identities at sea. New name, Marina. New paint, Russian flag. New registration, Russia. And that one change suddenly made it a lot harder for the U.S. to touch. Because under maritime law, a ship under a national flag has protection, especially when that flag belongs to Russia. But remember, the tanker is empty, and that matters. Because this isn't about what's inside the ship, it's about what the ship represents. See, Marina is part of what analysts call the dark fleet. Think of it as a loose network of over 1,000 old tankers that move sanctioned oil from places like Russia, Iran, and Venezuela. They switch names, turn off GPS, swap cargo in the middle of the ocean. It's like the black market, but for crude oil. Then, the U.S. first tried to seize this tanker in December 2025 near Venezuela, saying it was tied to illicit Iranian oil funding terrorist groups. The Coast Guard moved in, the crew resisted, and the ship bolted into the Atlantic. Since then, U.S. vessels, including a Legend-class cutter, have been trailing it across the ocean. As of January 7th, 2026, the Marina is somewhere 230 to 300 miles off Ireland or south of Iceland, heading toward Murmansk in northern Russia, and U.S. forces are still watching. Then, Russia did something unusual. It sent a submarine and Northern Fleet ships to escort the tanker. This is not normal, because this ship wasn't Russian until it suddenly was. Moscow even rushed its registration, likely just to put legal armor plating around it. Russian state media is now posting videos from the tanker saying the U.S. is bullying a civilian ship. Meanwhile, experts warn if the U.S. boards now, it risks violating maritime law and escalating things. And here's where the plot thickens. This tanker drama is unfolding right after U.S. forces carried out strikes and a raid in Venezuela, capturing President Nicolás Maduro. Maduro wasn't just another leader. He was one of Russia's closest allies in Latin America. Billions in arms deals, oil partnerships, strategic influence. So his fall? That's a huge loss for Moscow. So many analysts see this tanker escort as Russia flexing. It's symbolic. It says, we still protect our interests, even at sea, even far from home. So, big question. Are we sliding toward a U.S.-Russia showdown? Probably not. Both sides know how dangerous that would be. This looks more like high-stakes signaling, not the beginning of war. But the risk here isn't strategy, it's miscalculation. You've got U.S. ships, Russian escorts, a legally questionable tanker, and decades of political baggage, all floating together in the North Atlantic. So, yeah, the Marina may be empty, but it's carrying a very full load of geopolitics, and the world is watching where it sails next.
That's what's going on. And like it's titled, U.S.-Russia naval war begins. And we always go into the war of heaven. You know, when Yahushua and the angels will fight against the dragon and his angels, which the dragon and his angels would be Esau, and the other nations fighting against Yahushua and the angels. And they ain't gonna stand a chance, man. But let's hit in Revelation 8, where the navies are going to be destroyed too. All right. You read Revelation 8, you can start at the top. And in verse 7, it says, the first angel sounded, and there followed hail and fire mingled with blood, and they were cast upon the earth, and the third part of the trees were burnt up, and all the grass was burnt up. It's talking about the destruction of America. The third part is talking about America. Um, the rulership of Esau. Okay, the third of man, the Edomites, the end of their empire. Okay, beginning with America, the end of their rulership throughout the earth. The first heaven and the first earth were cast away. It says hell and fire mingled with blood. That's the missiles. All right.
I honestly thought this was one of those scams.
That's what causes damage to nuclear missiles. Verse 2, and the second angel sounded, and as it were a great mountain burning with fire, was cast into the sea, and the third part of the sea became blood. Right? Death. So the sea, the third part of the sea becoming blood. It says, and the third part of the creatures which were in the sea and had life died, and the third part of the ships were destroyed. You see, and the third part of the ships are destroyed. So the American navies, these navies are going to be destroyed as well. These watercraft, submarines, ships, and things of that nature. So you see, it's going to lead to nuclear destruction on water as well. All right. It says, and the third angel sounded, and there fell a great star from heaven, burned as it were a lamp, and it fell upon the third part of the rivers, and upon the mountains and of the waters. Right. Now we know after World War III, okay, they could do something, and it contaminate the waters before then, before World War III. We don't know. We got to see, but we do know that when World War III hit, and the nations that survived back east, the water is going to be contaminated, man, for them. All right. We don't know how long or what, but the water's going to be contaminated. A lot of people are going to die and get sick. It says, and the name of the star is called woodworm, which means poison or bitter. It says, and the third part contaminated, and the third part of the waters became woodworm, and many men died of the waters because they were made bitter, meaning contaminated poison. And that means people can drink it. Alright, it says, and the fourth angel sounded, and the third part of the sun was smitten, and the third part of the moon, and the third part of the stars. So as the third part of them was darkened, and the day shone not for a third part of it, and the light nightwise. No knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. You see? Bye bye America. Alright. It says, and I beheld and heard an angel flying through the midst of the heaven, saying with a loud voice, woe, 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 World War I, World War II, World War III, to the inhabitants of the earth, by reason of the voices of the trumpet of the three angels which are yet to be sound. Alright, so this is going to a destruction, man. Major destruction is going to really take its toll on the earth. Alright? But I just wanted to hit that real quick through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema. Shall I stay prayed up in the names of Yahweh Shema. Shall Shalom.